Why did the toenail refuse to paint itself red? Because it was already feeling blue. We've all heard the jokes, right? Toenails might not be the most glamorous topic, but they sure can be a source of amusement. Ever noticed how your toenails might be looking a little different than they used to? Maybe a bit more yellow than you remember? Don't worry, you're not alone, so kick back, relax, and let's dive into the reasons behind those yellowing toenails, shall we? Just like a good detective story, we're going to explore the usual suspects behind those yellowing toenails. From natural aging to fungal infections, we'll uncover the culprits and learn how to address them. Think of your toenails like a canvas. Over time, that canvas might show a few marks, a little discoloration, or even some texture changes. We'll explore simple self-care tips, over-the-counter remedies, and when it's best to seek advice from a healthcare professional. Knowledge is power, and when it comes to our health, a little understanding goes a long way in putting our minds at ease. Remember when you were younger and your toenails were as smooth and clear as a summer sky? Those were the days, weren't they? But just like our hair turns a distinguished silver or our skin develops those charming laugh lines, our toenails go through their own aging process. Think of it like this. A youthful toenail is like a juicy grape, plump and full of moisture. But as time goes by, it might start to resemble a raisin, a bit wrinkled and less vibrant. So, what's the deal with the yellowing? Well, it's all about a little something called keratin. As we get older, the keratin in our toenails can start to build up, and this buildup can give the nails a yellowish hue. Another factor contributing to the yellowing is the decreased blood flow to our extremities as we age. Now here's the good news. Yellowing toenails due to aging are incredibly common. So if you're noticing a bit of yellowing, don't fret. It's perfectly normal and usually nothing to be concerned about. However, it's essential to pay attention to any significant changes in your toenails, especially if the yellowing is accompanied by other symptoms like thickening, brittleness, or an unpleasant odor. Okay, folks, it's time to meet our next guest star in the world of yellow toenails, Fungal Fred. Now, Fungal Fred might sound like a friendly neighbor, but trust me, you don't want him setting up camp on your toenails. You see, fungal infections, also known as onychomycosis, say that 3 times fast, are caused by tiny organisms called fungi that thrive in damp, dark places. Now, Fungal Fred is a bit of a trickster. He can sneak in through the tiniest cracks in your nails or cuts in your skin. Once he finds a cozy spot, he starts multiplying faster than you can say toenail fungus. And as he throws his microscopic parties, your toenails might start to turn yellow, thicken, crumble, or even emit a slightly funky odor. Now, you might be wondering why seniors seem to be on Fungal Fred's VIP guest list. As we age, our immune systems tend to weaken, making us more susceptible to infections, including those pesky fungal invaders. Seniors are also more likely to have other health conditions like diabetes or circulatory problems that can further increase the risk of fungal infections. Okay, enough about Fungal Fred and his partying ways. The good news is that even if he's set up camp on your toenails, there are ways to evict him and restore your nails to their former glory. The key is to address the issue sooner rather than later. So if you're noticing any signs of fungal infection, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. So, we've tackled the natural aging process and bid farewell to Fungal Fred, hopefully for good. But as with any good mystery, there are always more suspects to consider. Yellow toenails can sometimes be a clue to other underlying medical conditions. Just like a good detective, we're going to shine a light on these potential culprits so you can be informed and empowered to take charge of your health. One of the characters we need to introduce is Mr. Diabetes. High blood sugar levels can damage nerves and blood vessels, especially in the extremities like our feet. This can affect the health and appearance of our toenails, making them more prone to yellowing, thickening, or even becoming brittle. It's like Mr. Diabetes is playing a game of Jenga with our circulation, and sometimes those toenails are the first to wobble. Next up, we have Miss Psoriasis, a character known for her dramatic flair. Psoriasis is an autoimmune condition that causes skin cells to multiply much faster than usual. When Miss Psoriasis sets her sights on the toenails, she can cause them to thicken, become discolored, often yellow or brown, and develop tiny dents or pits on the surface. It's like Miss Psoriasis is hosting a never-ending costume party on the toenails, with each skin cell trying to outdo the last. Now, before you start self-diagnosing based on your toenail's latest fashion statement, remember that these are just a few examples, and many other medical conditions can potentially affect toenail health. That's why it's crucial to consult with a healthcare professional if you notice any persistent or concerning changes in your toenails. Alright, let's talk about something a little more lighthearted: nail polish. It's like the ultimate accessory for our toes, adding a pop of color and personality to our feet. But did you know that those vibrant hues we love can sometimes leave behind an unwelcome souvenir? Yep, we're talking about those sneaky nail polish stains that can turn our toenails yellow. Why do some polishes stain more than others? It all comes down to the pigments used to create those eye-catching colors. Darker shades like reds, blues, blacks, and even some purples and greens often contain strong pigments that can penetrate the nail's surface and leave behind a yellowish tint. A few simple tricks can help prevent those pesky stains and keep your toenails looking their best. Enter the unsung hero of the nail polish world, the base coat. Think of it as a primer for your toenails, creating a barrier between your nails and the pigmented polish. By applying a thin layer of base coat before your colored polish, you're essentially creating a protective shield that prevents those staining pigments from penetrating the nail's surface. Now, even with a trusty base coat, it's still a good idea to be mindful of the polishes you choose. If you're prone to staining, you might want to limit your use of those super dark shades, or opt for polishes that are specifically labeled as stain-free or non-yellowing. And hey, if you do end up with a bit of staining, don't fret. We'll share some tips and tricks for tackling those stubborn stains later on. Alright folks, let's have a little heart-to-toe with each other. We've gotten to know Fungal Fred, that party animal who loves to crash our toenails. Remember, early detection is key to evicting Fungal Fred before his party gets out of control. First things first, take a good look at your toenails. Next, feel your toenails gently. Are they thicker than usual or starting to crumble at the edges? Fungal Fred and his crew can really wreak havoc on the texture of your nails, making them feel rough, brittle, or even painful to the touch. And speaking of unpleasantness, take a whiff. Gently, of course. Does a faint, funky odor greet your nostrils? Now here's the important part. Don't ignore these signs. It's easy to dismiss changes in our toenails as just a normal part of aging, but if you notice any of these symptoms, especially if they're persistent or getting worse, it's crucial to talk to your doctor. They might take a small sample of your nail for testing to confirm the diagnosis and ensure you're getting the most effective treatment. While those home remedies we discussed earlier can be helpful for mild cases or as a preventive measure, sometimes you need to call in the big guns, your healthcare provider. They can assess the situation, rule out any underlying medical conditions, and recommend prescription-strength medications or other treatment options that might be more effective. Let's talk about the foundation of happy toenails: good foot hygiene. Those little piggies appreciate a little TLC. Keep those feet clean and dry. Wash daily, scrub between toes. Dry thoroughly, especially between toes. Toenail TLC, tips for healthy nails. Now let's talk about those toenails. Trim your nails straight across to prevent ingrown toenails. It's like giving your toenails a neat and tidy haircut. And don't forget to moisturize to prevent dryness and cracking. Over-the-counter allies fighting fungus at home. Now, if you're noticing some early signs of Fungal Fred's presence, don't panic. There are plenty of over-the-counter antifungal treatments available that can help nip those infections in the bud. Think of these treatments as little warriors, armed and ready to fight those fungal invaders. These treatments come in various forms, including creams, ointments, and even medicated nail polishes. Look for products containing ingredients like clotrimazole, meconazole, or tolnaftate. These are the heavy hitters in the antifungal world. Apply the treatment as directed on the packaging and be patient. It can take several weeks or even months to see results. Listen to your toes. When to seek professional help. Remember, folks, self-care is fantastic, but it's essential to know when to call in the professionals. If you've been diligently following these self-care tips and haven't noticed any improvement in your toenails after a couple of weeks, or if you're experiencing pain, discomfort, or other concerning symptoms, don't hesitate to reach out to your doctor. They can help determine the underlying cause of your toenail woes and recommend the most effective treatment plan for you. Remember, there's no shame in seeking help. Yellow alert. When to dial the doc. We've covered a lot of ground on our toenail journey. From natural aging to fungal, Fred's antics and nail polish stains, we've explored a range of culprits behind yellowing toes. Sometimes it's best to seek professional advice. Painful toenails? Don't suffer in silence. Pain is the body's alarm bell. Don't ignore toenail pain. It can stem from ingrown nails, infections, or medical conditions. Self-treating can make it worse. Beyond yellow, red flags to watch out for. Now let's talk about those visual cues. If your toenails turn dark brown or black, or if you notice red streaks, purple or green, see your doctor. These changes could indicate issues. Remember, folks, there's no shame in seeking help for your toenails. Your doctor is there to provide guidance and support. Who wants to spend their days worrying about their toenails? Life's too short for that. Address concerns with your doctor and get back to enjoying life. Now, I've shared a lot of toenail tales, but I have a confession. Even I've had my fair share of toenail adventures. Once, I treated myself to a pedicure. I went all out, the works. Days later, my toenails turned a shocking yellowish orange. I was mortified. My toenails looked like they'd been dipped in turmeric. I tried everything, nail polish remover, baking soda, nothing worked. Then my grandmother came to my rescue. Her secret weapon? Lemon juice. I soaked cotton balls in lemon juice, applied them to my toenails, and guess what? It worked. The stains faded. Now I know what you're thinking. You're a brave soul for sharing that story. Well, I believe in transparency, folks, and besides, it's a good reminder that we're all in this together. We all have our quirks, our funny little health hiccups, and yes, even our toenail tales. So, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a funny, embarrassing, or downright bizarre toenail experience? Share your stories in the comments below. Let's have a good laugh, swap some home remedies, and maybe even learn a thing or two from each other's toenail triumphs and tribulations. Remember, laughter is the best medicine. Well, after those anti-fungal creams, of course. Now, I know you've been paying attention throughout this toenail odyssey, and you might have some burning questions bubbling to the surface. Well, don't hold back. This is your chance to pick my brain about all things toenail related. Whether it's a specific concern, a home remedy you're curious about, or just a general toenail query, fire away in the comments below. I'll be answering as many questions as I can in an upcoming video, so stay tuned. Consider this your personal toenail consultation. No appointment necessary. Well, folks, we've reached the final steps of our toenail journey. Those little keratin shields on our toes can tell us a lot about our overall health. The key takeaway? Don't ignore those toenails. Pay attention to any changes and practice good foot hygiene. Now, go forth and embrace those toenails, whether polished or natural. Healthy toes lead to happy feet, carrying you through life's adventures. Thanks for joining me on this toenail adventure.